Well, I'm here with Margie Trembley, milliner, designer, Margie Trembley Chapeaux. Thank you. And also with Dr. Mary Elliott. She's the associate professor at Wayne State College. Ladies, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So first of all, Margie, I've known you for like a long time,
You got it.
for decades, and it's been just really a fun journey to watch your career and kind of what you are doing. So let's just talk about what you're doing now and why we're here.
Okay. We're here because this hat is on display at my gallery, which is Springfield Artworks, and also my millinery studio, Margie Trembley Chapeaux. And so that's why we're here.
Yeah. And how long have you been doing hats?
Since 2012.
Okay. Because it's fairly, I mean, that's not too long ago.
No.
Because you really were focused on the studio, the art gallery in Springfield. So
Right.
yeah. So let's talk about the exhibit and what this is all about.
Okay. It's going to be at 183 Main Street in Springfield, and it's about the hat that Mary got me started on. And you want to ask her some things about that?
And tell me, she got you started on, what does that mean?
I'm sorry. She called me, and she had done this embroidery piece in class, and she wanted to use a Nebraska milliner to make a hat for her.
Okay.
So,
Well, Mary, yes.
The front of the hat is goldwork embroidery. I knew nothing about it, but I enrolled in the Royal School of Needlework, which is actually in England, but for the first time they came to America
Wow.
2 years ago. I was in the goldwork class with Helen McCook, who was my instructor. And she was one of the embroiderers on Kate Middleton's wedding dress when she married Prince William.
Okay.
And so that I was in awe of that just to begin with. But as I began to learn this technique, I just fell in love with it. And this was in Lexington, Kentucky, which of course is surrounded by the horse racing history. And so I kept thinking, I want to do something with this goldwork embroidery besides just putting it in a frame and hanging it on the wall. And I kept thinking, this would be wonderful in a hat for the races. Well, I came back from Kentucky to Nebraska, so I Googled milliners in Nebraska.
Okay.
Margie's name came up, and I began to explore her website, her Facebook page, and then I contacted her. And of course, her first response was, I've never done anything like this. So we met and just began to brainstorm ideas, and this is the result, just this beautiful one-of-a-kind hat with this historic type of wonderful embroidery that's on the front of it.
So this hat is on display
right.
in Springfield Artworks in Springfield, Nebraska.
Right.
And what happens after that? I mean, what happens when it's not on display?
She gets it back. It's her hat.
Well, I need to go to a horse race is what I need to.
Well,
And
yes.
Yeah, there's a possibility I might be going to Ascot in the summer. We've got to see how my academic schedule lines up with the vacation time, so we'll see. But if all else fails, I might be able to get back to Kentucky and go to one of the premier horse races in America. But yeah, it needs to be shown at a horse race.
Are there further collaborations with you both in the future?
Well, we haven't really discussed
Okay.
it. I think, we've probably kicked around some ideas in our heads, but we're both pretty busy. And I don't live here in Omaha, so
Yeah.
I imagine there's probably some
Probably will be.
future collaborations just because we're both creative and we've got a lot of ideas. It's a matter of time, It's just, you've got to have that time, so.
And we've developed a great friendship over this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really nice.
When did this all start? Tell me again, how many months ago or how long ago?
I think I contacted you probably in March, didn't I? It was March of 2019, and
Probably.
Yeah, because I remember she was actually going on vacation, and so for this to happen, we had to make the decisions, and she had to do all the creative work before she went on vacation. And I also wanted to get it photographed because I was submitting it to a creative exhibit. And all that had to happen by June 1st, wasn't it?
Right.
It was by June 1st. So I think between March and June 1st and I made several trips to Omaha. It was a lot of fun. We really truly collaborated. We made a prototype first to check it out and see if it was going to work. we ran into problems and we had to sit here and brainstorm and figure out those problems. So yeah.
So talk to me about, so when you talk about the gold
work.
What does that mean? Is that like real gold? Or what does that mean?
For metallic threads to be classified as gold work, there's two different types of metallic threads, and they need to have at least 2% gold in it.
Okay.
Or if they have less than 2%, then they're classified as gilt work, metallic threads.
Okay.
But they even have like 0.5% gold in it. So to be considered gold work,
Yeah.
it has to have some gold in it. It's an embroidery which is on the surface of fabric rather
Okay.
than the thread going through the fabric. And so there's just some special techniques associated with it. It's also a very old technique. It goes back clear to ancient times. But predominantly the pieces that we have today that are historically based come from the 13th to the 18th century.
Okay.
And mostly from England. There was a period of time where there were upwards of 1,400 embroiderers, mainly doing gold work for clergy, for the Church of England, as well as military and the royalty. It's really synonymous with wealth and luxury and
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, and then people, again, can go to Springfield Artworks and tell us address. How can they find you on Facebook,
Yes.
website?
We're on Facebook, website. They can email us at margietrembley@gmail.com if they want to be sure that I'm there to talk about it, because sometimes my husband and I
Yep.
take turns working. So Facebook is really good.
Yeah.
Texting is fine.
And it's on display through the end of November?
Yes, November 30th.
Okay. And we have like 30 seconds. We've got a couple other hats up here. I mean, you've been doing amazing work
Thank you.
for so many years. So we don't have a lot of time to dive into that, and I will definitely have you back on the show. But these other two hats, real quickly, are from...
These were both
Yeah.
in the Metropolitan Museum of
Okay,
Art.
okay.
This one was there for an exhibit called Instruments of Rock and Roll.
Okay.
And so I had to come up with a design, and that's actually the notes from a Beach Boys song that I kind of put around the edge.
Okay.
So that was kind of fun. So it was on there
Yeah.
on display for a couple months.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank both of you for coming on the show and
You're
encourage
welcome.
people to come out to Springfield Artworks and check it out, along with everything else that you're doing out there, which is amazing. So
Thank you.
thank you both.
Thanks,
Thanks for
Andy.
having us.
You are welcome, and we will be right back.